talked about the Warner Brothers bit. We talked about the
Hey, I have a pro tip. If you are thinking about going to have your company work for Warner Brothers, maybe stop that.
consider otherwise shutting down Rooster Teeth, Adult Swim games likely being delisted in 60 days.
For no reason. Also, like the there's some owners of those games that have like all the rights still, and they're calling up people at Warner Brothers going, "Can you please just transfer the listing to me? It takes 3 clicks on Steam," and they're just getting denied wholesale. Like they are vindictively, like actively destroying these games.
That sucks because Adult Swim games was a legitimately solid way for indies to get their published for a while there. Yeah, I mean, it says within 60 days, and hopefully there can be enough noise that can just do something. But
Yeah, they're just killing just to kill it.
Some panic ass buttons were pressed, and the ramifications are continuing to be seen. The in the meantime, though, while that's going on, Activision QA workers formed the largest U.S. video game union yet. Organized with the help of CWA, Activision QA United has 600 members across Texas, California, and Minnesota.
That's great.
That's super good. Every time one of these stories drops, there's always a shot, and you got to wait for your chaser to see, does it stick? It's recognized by Microsoft.
Yeah, Microsoft voluntarily recognized it in court or anything.
Yes, no, the recognition has occurred. It's more so like, is there just then an unfortunate downturn in these offices with redundancies that suddenly need to be let go?
It's too late. They would have had to do this during the formation process.
Mm-hmm.
Like the usual thing is that you're like, oh, you guys are starting a union, huh? All your bosses just got fired. That's crazy. But now that the union is in the process of being like legally formed, it's a little too late.
The last 2 times a union was close to getting formed and or recognized, everyone got laid off in terms of getting in the industry. So I'm waiting for the shoe to drop / I'm wondering what the catch is. Yeah.
I feel like that QA team is too large to just wholesale junk the entire department.
600 people is a fuck ton of people. But
like that's in terms of like, that's not, you can't just like replace that tomorrow.
But they are QA, which means to these assholes they're disposable, which means if you are gonna get rid of 600 people overnight, that's the group that you would be the most likely. You'd be more willing to, considering you're like, it's low skilled. Who cares? We'll pull them in off the streets. The way they perceive QA, at the very least. I don't know.
Just have the robots do it. Just have Chat GPT write the bug reports.
Just
saw a great quote, which is, we're really far away from AI being able to do your job, but we're actually really close to your boss thinking AI can do your job.
Yeah. That's
so like,
that's the one.
Did we talk about the Air Canada thing?
No.
So Air Canada fucking lost a Supreme Court case in Canada, obviously, that is like setting the tone for AI in this country. So they had an AI chatbot running the help desk, the online help chat desk. You know, you go to the website and go, would you like to talk to an agent?
Oh,
and
yes.
Go, yes. Right. So they had the AI doing that. And a guy was like, listen, I'm traveling. I have a bereavement in the family. Can I just buy the ticket and submit the bereavement later? And the robot says, absolutely you can. You totally can do that. So he was like, okay. And he took screenshots of it and recorded it and then went on his trip and then went to submit for the bereavement. And they're like, that's not their fucking policy. Who told you that? And he's like, whatever dumb shit you have running your website. And they're like, well, that's a robot, so it doesn't count. And the Supreme Court of Canada says that if you employ a robot to talk to people and it tells you something, then that shit is legally binding.
Just the... Like I'm a huge fan of the Air Canada defense that was employed there, though. Like, Yeah,
it's
well,
like,
it's not a real person, so anyone that would take it seriously is a fool. Obviously, duh.
It's like Walmart and Walmart in the U.S. and Canada are like getting security to like manage like self checkout because people are just stealing at self checkout, and it's like the whole reason you put self checkout in was so that you didn't have to pay cashiers. Because cashiers check that you're not just stealing shit by scanning it in themselves. But now you're having to put security to watch the self-checkout? You're losing money now, you idiots!
But
the security guard at the store, when I worked at the store, cost more than the entire everybody else in the front. Because they need the insurance and they need the training to, and they have to get compensated for having homeless people bite them or, and all that shit.
But if you put a mirror at the self-checkout and people see themselves, they're less likely to want to steal because they
go, man, I'm a handsome shoplifter. I look really cool swiping these
Look
batteries.
how fucking sick it is when I put it right in my jacket, though. Look at that angle. Isn't that sick?
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
Damn, I rule. Yeah, next time you see yourself on one of those, don't forget. That's what it's there for. Anyway, so
yeah, by the way, Air Canada no longer uses a chatbot.
Well, could you imagine the fucking precedent that is you're fired, you're replaced with a chatbot, and also whatever the chatbot says, we're not responsible for?
Oh yeah, because once that ruling came down, it was like, listen, you can trick ChatGPT and OpenAI to saying whatever the fuck you want it to say. So you could get that thing to be like, yes, no, it is policy to give you a blowjob in the parking lot. Absolutely. Right. And then like it's going to go to the Supreme Court of Canada and they're going to be like, well, somebody has to do it. Legally binding.
Legally binding. Yep. It's employing the do anything now method of
you had an employee act with the word of law for your company. And so the policy that you put down by accident is accurate now. So
Mr. CEO, here's a court-provided lipstick and knee pads.
You can have a pillow if you prefer.
But someone needs to perform, as has been promised. Anyway, speaking of CEOs, hey, what's good old Bobby up to?
Well,
Bobby!
The United States is deciding that it's not acceptable for anyone who's Asian to own TikTok.
So
they said TikTok is banned in the U.S. unless they sell it to an American.
And Mr. Kotick, from mid-air with golden jetpack dynamically posing, catches wind of what's going on over there and redirects with his remaining gasoline, his jetpack over to TikTok, showing interest in buying it. Man, if Bobby Kotick buys TikTok, fucking internet, like, GG. Please enjoy. I just.
It's really,
not content with with a
$500
million payout, mind you. And fucking off into the sunset.
Like Kotick isn't even the problem. Kotick is like legitimately not even the problem. The issue is that the U.S. wants to be able to control every single form of mass media that exists. They've held on to TV forever, right? But here comes Google. Here comes YouTube. Here comes Twitch. Here comes almost everything. And that TikTok, you can see all sorts of things that are politically inconvenient.
Well, look, TikTok as it stands currently violates your phone in more ways than any other thing to a ridiculous degree. But,
of course it does.
But the idea that a Bobby Kotick would take over and somehow not add to that list and somehow not streamline its ability to invade your privacy and make that shit worse is laughable. Is ridiculous.
I think the funniest thing is that I see some folks mentioning that like TikTok is legitimately associated with China, and like, yeah, of course it is. And are they stealing a bunch of your data? Absolutely. Along with Facebook and Google and every service that exists on your fucking Apple iPhone or Android.
Yeah, my understanding is that the face recognition technology, for example, is used to help the Uyghur tracking software that they're using in the Xinjiang region as one of the things that it does. For example,
the main complaint here is that, I mean, China's stealing your data, whereas it should be the good old US of A stealing your data and handing it over to the FBI and the NSA.
So yeah, I mean that is a fucking hellish outcome for everybody should it occur. And the thought, I suppose, that Kotick would take his near billions and just disappear with it was, I suppose I was a fool for thinking.
Need to ruin something or I can't get off, said Bobby.
I mean, I thought he's like, hey, I made it. The credits are rolling. He got out, right? You got away with it. You got away with all of it. Like, I thought that's a ride into the sunset moment. But
well, of course he got away with it. He's rich.
But you don't go that far and then hang it all up just to say like, yeah, I did it. I'm gonna retire on an island somewhere. You got to 180 that car and swing it right back around.
Before all of this shit, rich people, if they wanted to get like props, had to like put their name on a library or like a street or like a public building or something.
A hospital wing.
Yeah, they had to like do something that eventually became like a public good if they wanted to puff up their fucking attitude. But now social media has allowed people to be like, buy my fucking lip balm and make me a famous person, but also I'm rich and I'm just fucking you over. Like, ugh. Gross. Is it not enough to have $500 million and anything you'd ever want? You have to want people to like you also? Jesus Christ.
It is not enough. Because if it was enough, then you wouldn't need 500. You would have stopped at 100. If it was enough, you would have stopped at half. You know, like like that distance is already indicative of the fact that the limiter doesn't exist.
The billionaire class is actually like a form of hoarding mental illness that has been codified into society. It's like a form of like economic narcissism that is intractable because of its rewards. The only difference between grandma who won't throw out her trash and has a house full of pig statues that are spilling out the door and Bobby Kotick is that his hoarding fixation is numbers on a spreadsheet.
Yeah, enough of that shit. Apparently, there's Akuma news going on right now.
Shut the fuck
up.
Who gives a shit about the global economy? I need my opiate.